The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is Universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right, sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. We call it the 10-minute drill. We do it each and every day at the end of this. Before we handing out Kuhn flowers one more time.
Absolutely, Tootly, Dan. One lucky Guggen going to take home a floral arrangement from our friends at Kuhn Flowers.
Wonderful, wonderful. Jeff Prosser, Natalie coiffed. He has finally gotten his haircut.
He looks beautiful.
I won. I did not get a haircut. It was a haircut competition.
It was not a competition at all.
I was victorious here. I went longer than you.
I won.
Spin the wheel.
I finally overcame.
Spin the wheel. Get it right now.
I overcame my laziness.
What? No bet?
There was no bet. I overcame my laziness to actually get a cut, and I figured out how to do that. I made myself do it by setting an appointment.
An appointment,
Silly
which you
me.
followed through on.
Do you know how many times in my life I've driven to the haircut place, found it was too crowded, and drove home? 100 times I've done that. Why haven't I just been setting appointments, Dan?
Did they always do appointments?
I don't know. They are now.
Certain ones depend on where you go.
Well, shout out to my man Joel over at the Old School Barbershop. If you live in Juleston, you know him. He's a huge Canes fan. I learned that, for example, that Brian Forte lives here in town. You remember that name?
Yeah,
Brian Forte? Quarterback at the U.
Yeah.
Came down from New
Shout
Jersey.
out Brian Forte.
Yeah, and then he ended up transferring back to Rutgers. I think he lost the job, maybe Erickson. It was back at that time.
A while ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I learned that he lives out in that neck of the woods
Who knew?
because Joel is such a Canes fan.
Oh.
Joe, you should go over there.
Did he give you a hot towel?
He did. A hot towel, shave.
Nothing better than
With
a
that
hot
single
towel.
blade on the back of my neck. I
love
think he's
that
done a
hot
beautiful
towel.
job. I encourage you all to check us out on YouTube or Twitch, wherever the hell we are. What is this, Beef?
Yes, that's Facebook Live.
one of
you
the
can
platforms.
You can see right now, Dan, I'd ask you to look at the back of my head. You see how it's so perfectly blended in.
Blended.
High
Nicely.
and tight.
It's a strong-looking cut.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much. I
Yeah.
think it might be the best cut I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just say it. Wait, Joel deserves all the credit.
I'm looking forward
what
to
did I do?
seeing
He's
how
an
I look.
artiste.
I'm looking forward to seeing how I look in September.
You need to cut that. Yeah, I thought this would. I was hoping that this would put a little pressure on you.
I mean, this thing is going. This thing is like raging fire on my head. It's just shooting out every which way. I can't control it. I go on TV. I got to wet it down before I go out there. Then I got all these little pieces sticking out.
I'm gonna have to call the butcher. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I'm gonna get with the butcher, Beef, and her and I are gonna have a little talk, and maybe it means tranquilizing him,
It
you
might
know,
be.
and just doing it while you're asleep.
You can do it while I'm sleeping. I wouldn't hear a thing.
I couldn't
for sure.
do it. I couldn't do it anymore. Congratulations on, I guess, winning. To me,
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
couldn't do it another day. It's awful. It's an awful feeling.
Tremendous.
The longest I've probably ever been in my life without getting a haircut, literally.
So anyway, lots of things going on in the sports world. The baseball bickering continues as we tick closer and closer. But yesterday, the sad news was the minor league baseball. There's jobs. What they say, 1,000 kids were let go.
Yeah, well, here's, I see both sides here, but
Yeah.
I think baseball, look, you're already a sport that's losing popularity, not gaining.
Yeah.
And at the grassroots level, it's, you need Davenport, Iowa to grow future Cubs fans. You need Macon, Georgia to grow Braves fans. Or even you need Denton, Texas to, you need these places. They're the grassroots lifeblood. Now, on the other side, Dan, if you're Rob Manfred in your Major League Baseball,
Yeah.
if there's a need, then make those semi-pro, because I can't keep paying 1,000 guys that have no chance of making the majors, and that's what the system has become. There are guys in single A that aren't now, will
But
never
there
be
are
prospects.
stories of guys who get better and make it, and those guys will be given no chance.
No, developmental leagues will fill the void.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll still get reps. They'll still find you if if it takes you a different, longer path than. Most of the guys who make it from single A are guys who are prospects who start at single A.
Yeah. But the sad part is also for the towns. And look, there's not going to be minor league baseball. There's going to be no jumbo shrimp this year.
Not this year, no.
I mean,
The jumbo shrimp are safe,
Oh, yeah,
long term.
but it's still hurtful. It's sad, and you feel for those guys. You feel for all those people who work for the jumbo shrimp.
I'd love to go to a jumbo shrimp game this afternoon.
The jumbo shrimp, there's nothing like – look, minor league baseball
It's
is great,
affordable.
man. Yeah, you take – I mean, I can't tell you how many times you saddle up the fam and
100.
You go to like a Friday night game, a Wednesday night game, a Sunday afternoon
A
game.
promotion you want, a
You
Christian
go with
concert
friends,
you want to see.
you buy the box in charity auctions, and you take 18 people and go have a
They're
great
fun.
night there.
I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money, and that was,
Right.
that was like a Friday night out. My mom, we'd load up and we'd
Right.
drive 30 minutes to the Kane County Cougars.
$6 for a ticket,
$6 for a
$1
ticket.
for a dog,
Yeah.
and a cola.
And you still enjoy the
you had a
stadium
blast.
atmosphere.
You run around as a kid. You get to go out in the outfield or wherever or go to the fun zone and have a good time.
I saw single A level Jason Giambi grinding it out.
Saw single A level Jason Giambi.
When I lived in at the time, the Nashville Sounds, I think they're AAA now, but that was when I lived in Tennessee growing up. Nashville was 45 minutes away. No major league teams close.
I mean,
but
minor league baseball to me is Americana, baby.
Steve Balboni, I used to see in Nashville.
Major league baseball is great, but it's the real deal. It's the big. It doesn't have the romanticism of minor league baseball. Listen, I once, when I was a young Cub reporter down there at the other place, I spent I went on a road trip with the then Jacksonville Suns. Man, we went and hung out. We had total access, man. We cruised. We went up to Charlotte, man. We went out with the boys. We had a big time, man. We had some former Seminoles on that team, and it was great, man. Yeah. We had some guys who I thought for sure would be managers one day, knew the game inside and out. It was fantastic. So we learned that all these stories that we hear about minor league baseball basically is true. How they travel, and it's tough. It's a tough lifestyle, and you got to grind through it. And, I mean, Chipper Jones did it and went A to, if high school kids go out and get drafted, they go to A ball.
I wonder if this sends more kids to college.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
because although maybe there's more money now. Maybe you offer those guys more to come early.
And again, it's sad because it's not like these guys are making any money whatsoever, but they've been eliminated to save pennies while we can pay the stars the millions.
It's definitely one of those where you have to feel for other people. If you're living in Jacksonville right now, this doesn't affect you one bit. It's just the overall notion of baseball, the health of it, and those small towns that lose, like Beef said, going to a little.
And what's amazing to me, and the one thing I've learned about sports, and we discussed this a little bit, but one thing I've learned about sports is I'm shocked that there's no savings chest for each sport. Like baseball's talking about just all these.
They had record revenue last year.
Tires. We missed one season and we're out of business. I mean, college football and college sports. We're cutting sports all across the country. Programs are dropping left and right because of what they may be facing. The only one who doesn't seem worried is the NFL, and I assume at some point there's going to be some hockey ramifications. And by the way, the NFL is talking about a reduced salary cap next year instead of a increased salary cap, because if the billionaires ever get hurt, if the billionaires' salary revenues aren't trending up, that's a problem for the billionaires. So they immediately turn and start looking at ways to
How much money do you think
to cut?
Miami Marlins lost last year? And the Marlins were terrible, right? The worst team.
Oh,
in the
God.
What do you
Project
think?
Wolverine.
Yeah. How much money do you think they lost?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a trick question.
They made
$222 million.
Miami Marlins.
The Oakland A's made $225 million. Those are the two worst.
Yeah.
I'm talking 2019, not any other
So
time.
where's the chest?
The Yankees?
Where's the money?
The Yankees. Now, when they say revenue, I'm assuming this means after paying your contracts. Maybe it doesn't.
Right.
But
right.
Even still, the Yankees didn't have $683 million in payroll. That's what they made. $683 million last year alone.
Yeah.
So
where's the savings chest?
where is at any point the professional owner in any sport, and maybe is it because all it takes is three greedy ones to not allow this to happen?
The guy I like the most.
When does someone take a hit? When does an owner take a hit?
The owner I like the most, I think, through all this is Cuban.
Yeah,
Cuban came out early. He's like, I'm paying the stadium guys. I'm paying this guy. I'm paying that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. He's got the savings chest.
Well, it's nice to see that. Every single owner can afford to do that. Yeah, it might hurt their family wealth for a year. You'll make it back. Where is that, though? Where is that? It doesn't exist, does it?
I heard Steve Phillips on yesterday on a talk show. He was talking about working for the Wilpons, who, ID test. And
Steve Phillips was a GM of the Mets.
He was a GM of the Mets, I'm sorry. And he worked for the Wilpons, who own the Mets, who were buddies with Madoff. And he did say one thing about Fred Wilpon, the owner, who's in the process of selling the team. And he said, honestly, he was asked, were you ever invited to invest with Madoff? And he goes, He goes, they brought that up to me one time, and he goes, I was in the inner circle. When Fred Wilpon likes you, he treats you like family. I will say that, and he was great, and but he was reviewing the Madoff deal, and he said the thing that was worse for the Wilpons wasn't necessarily losing the money. That was what's worse for the fans. It was that they were, betrayed by a friend, and I guess the Wilpons, when they bring you in, they bring you in all the way. And he goes, but I ended up never investing with him because my thought was, well, if he's doing that, how come everybody else isn't copying him? Well, that's a good thought process, bro. That's probably what you should ask yourself when you're investing your hard-earned money. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting. But again, in sports, listen, it's terrible to not have reduced seasons and such, but I didn't expect it to be cataclysmic, I guess.
For baseball?
Financially. Really for everything. I mean, in terms of – and I guess maybe we've gotten to the point where, we live – many of us live paycheck to paycheck. Maybe sports lives paycheck to paycheck. I don't know. Boy, we're hoping for at least $15,000 tonight so we can pay the bills tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not believing that. Do you know who speaking of baseball, do you know who Andrew Church is?
Andrew Church?
Mm-hmm. You know that name?
The only Church I remember is Ryan Church of the Mets. Andrew Church.
Andrew Church. Well, you're in the right neighborhood. It's
Any
just a
relation to
different house.
Barry?
Andrew Church is a New York Mets second round.
Oh, is he the one who wrote the?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that.
This is kind of champions you're building in the Mets organization.
Andrew's not happy.
This kind of losers you have over there, the kind of babies.
Andrew's a baby, you're saying?
In a lengthy caption on Instagram Thursday, Church tore into how he believed the Mets took advantage of his love for baseball and damaged his career in the process. He recalled tearing his UCL after the team allegedly pushed him into a game with no warm-ups and having his request to see a doctor ignored while the organization had him pitch for another team. But then came some choice words for the unassailable. As he ripped the decision to bring in an unnamed, quote, celebrity to sell tickets, even mentioned an accusation that the celebrity saw a cut of the team's minor league sales. They made a mockery of our team by putting a celebrity on it to sell more tickets. Of course, we're talking Tim Tebow here.
Yeah.
Church wrote, I saw players lose their jobs because of it. We weren't playing to win. We were playing to make everyone else money, not the players. We never saw a cut. Well, allegedly, that one player did. Is there any truth to Tim Tebow getting a cut of the Mets gate? Do you know? I've never heard
I don't
that.
know, but you know what? Who knows? What if they gave him? Would it be wrong if they gave him a percentage of his jersey sales or something? I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it, but who knows?
Church overlapped with Tebow on 3 different teams over the course of 2017 to 19.
I guess he doesn't like Timmy.
Well, he probably doesn't like the fact that Tebow stayed the entire season last year at AAA and with almost 300 plate appearances, hit 163.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a fair complaint.
Well, they didn't. They released more than 40 minor leaguers yesterday, and Tebow wasn't one of them. So,
well, there you go. Maybe Church was.
Yeah, he was. He was released.
I didn't know what Andrew Church's numbers were. That's the one. He's a 25-year-old.
I get the feeling he's a pitcher, though, if he says he was forced to pitch, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. Well, that's true, too.
Yeah.
Well, they forced him back. Well, without warning. That's a good question. I guess he is a pitcher.
That's kind of how I took it, but I don't know. Maybe
Just recalled tearing his UCL after they allegedly pushed him into a game with
what
no
he
warm-up.
said was, just so people know, and this is a tough thing. If you follow baseball like Jeff and I do, you kind of know this, but there's a certain the Mets used to have their AAA team in Vegas, which was dumb. The AAA team needs to be close to because of the travel. So if you need a pitcher right away, they put out for the pitcher. Well, then that team needs a pitcher. So guys are always moving around. They're flying back and forth. They'll fly all night and go play that morning if they have a game. They don't take a ton into consideration in that respect.
That's true.
And so there's Church is saying, listen, he was a kind of a competitive, do-everything kid, so whatever they asked him, they knew he would not say no, and they took advantage of that is kind of how he views it, which may or may not be true.
Yeah.
I don't know. So but there is last year Rajah Davis, right? Rajah Davis, World Series hero almost a World Series hero for the Cleveland Indians.
Over the Indians.
He tied the game, right, Beef? Isn't that the guy who hit the LeBron?
He had the home run off
they
of.
Actually went ahead on that home run, didn't they?
I think he tied it, but he may. I don't know. I remember LeBron going crazy and all that, right? Game 7. Anyway, Rajah Davis is 38 years old now, and he's playing and trying to get back to the bigs, and the Mets need him. And he's in Pennsylvania, Scranton, and he took an Uber to New York
Oh,
City.
yeah, that's right.
And he spent like $250 and ended up hitting a bases clearing double that night.
That was a game-tying home run in the 8th inning.
Yeah, game-tying home run.
Off of Chapman.
Yeah, it was a 3-run shot, though, wasn't it? Wasn't it like 5-2 or something?
It was 6-4.
Okay.
It was a 2-run shot.
All right. So that's the kind of things that happen in minor league baseball. And then, of course, if that team needed an extra player, they could reach down. And so because it all depends on what the big league team needs. So that's how it works. But everybody knows that going in, too. So
Do you know what a big day Monday is?
this Monday? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know what happens Monday?
I do.
You know what I'm talking about?
No idea. What is it?
MLB through MLB TV, MLB.com is having a bracket for best World Series champion of all time. They're actually doing this is they did 2. They did 1, and now this is the second one, I guess.
Okay.
And we're down to it's either the Final 4 or the Final 8. And coming up on Monday, you can watch the game live. They'll stream it live on MLB.com. It will be the 86 Mets against the 95 Braves. Just so you know.
Who is it?
The 86 Mets against the 95
In
Braves.
the finals?
We're in like the semis. Semis or quarters.
For the greatest team of all time?
I think it's the second wave. I think they already did one.
Oh.
And maybe I don't know that for sure. It may be the greatest team of all time. If that's the case, neither the 85 nor the 86 nor 95 Braves will win.
Fist could fly in that one if we were watching that.
Yeah,
game.
that'd be fun.
86 Mets won 108 games.
Well, they are high on this 95 Braves team. We've just been blowing through this bracket. We just beat last year's Nats 4-1.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Well, we better win.
Yeah. It might be a good week for me not be around.
I might raise a banner.
Well, you already
order
have
a
a banner
ring.
for that. All right, I'm going to ask you a question before we go to break.
Yeah.
And you can contemplate it, and then we'll return with an answer.
All right.
Is it fair to call Matt LaFleur a flat-out liar? That, when we return, here on The Drill, it's an All-American Friday, brought to you by All-American Roll-Off and Recycle.
Let's do caller number 2 right now, 641-1010. Kuhn Flowers, beef offering up a lovely
Floral arrangement.
Floral
Dan.
arrangement.
Yeah. Call number 2, 641-1010. Going to take home that floral arrangement delivered by Kuhn Flowers.
Cool. Back with more next.